Okay, we're live. This is thinking data, and we're going to alias some SSN numbers today. So without any further ado, let's go over here and let's pull an alias. All right. We'll pull these down. Okay. So we're starting here. We have some. What we started with is we had some. We pulled a bunch of GUIDs and we put them in this text file here, and there are a million of them, which is this file right here. So I can't, I'm simulating this, so we're going to shape these into SSN numbers. We're not working with no live numbers or any pretense at live numbers whatsoever. So we're going to open this one up. This is going to be our recipe. Okay, and then we'll open up. We're going to be doing the work on this text file here, and so we'll go ahead and version that before we even begin. Okay, we start with a generated SSN file. Let's make all the fake IDs 9 places. Make a new version of the file lest we corrupt the original. That's the incrementer. We've already done that. And then I'm going to take out the minus signs. So let's start with that. Okay, and we'll go ahead and increment it again. Let's introduce some. We're going to have only 9 places, so that's the next thing on the. And what we're doing here is that this is a parentheses expression, which will render to back reference 1. This is the start of the line, any character for 9 places, and that's what back reference 1 is. So we're going to go ahead and paste that in there and change the lines. Okay, and then we're going to make a committed save here. Okay, let's introduce some duplicates, let's say about 35%. And I believe the number I stated is about 35% of the ones I list on my subject line. So we'll go ahead and do this. What this is the last 4 characters before the end of the line. Change these to all zeros. So that's just kind of like a mask. Okay. Make another save. We'll come back over here. The SSN ID should be, we'll go ahead and sort the SSN ID, and I have this on a hotkey. So we'll go ahead and sort that. Okay. And that will be a save there. Okay. Okay, let's see. So we're going to save this. The first one is sorted duplicates. So that will be a designated name. All right. Then we're going to come back here, and then we're going to do a unique on it. Now this is actually as was the sort command. This is a Linux bash command. Although if you're working with Cygwin, you have these also. So what this is all percent is all lines, and then the bang character, I mean the exclamation is send it to an external program, and that external program is the unique program, which takes out duplicates. If one line is duplicated with another, it will remove it. So we're going to run this right now. Make an incremental save. Okay. Oh, and then we're going to say save non-duplicates. All right. And we're just going down here. Now let's make a Vime script. But let's make Vime do the work of writing the script. Let's save our file to x.vim. Let's see, and that's what this is. So we'll go ahead and save that. All right. So we're going to go to the top of the buffer. We can do that right here. GG. So we're at the very top. We were changing old SSN to new aliased SSN ID. We have to do the command prefix first. No particular reason, but well, yeah, there is a reason. I like to go from left to right. That's the reason. So we're going to do the suffix first, so that the beginning of the line we're gonna set it up for the substitute command. So this is the prefix part of it. Okay. So that's the prefix. For the placeholder, let's template it for now. As with algebra substitution, algebra we use substitutions and placeholders. So we're going to do this. We're going to on the end of the line, we're going to append all x's and then close out the command we're making. Okay. First, a note about scale. Although it is true that we can record a macro, macros are extremely slow. This becomes readily apparent when dealing with big data. And in this case, this is not the final form. We're kind of morphing this as we go along. And this is from the current to the end of the buffer. But the amount of lines goes down one, assuming that your list is in sorted order, which it is. But this is kind of where that comes from. So let's go back here. We're going to initialize the counter, and registers are denoted by the @ sign. And we can see the counter if we want, reg I, and I is 0 like we set. Okay. So we have another case where this is not entirely pasteable. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go tab E, and then we're going to go get into the browser for the directory. Let's see. So we're going to do V for, and then we're going to go to the end of the line, double quote A and Y. We're going to put that register A just for the heck of it. So then we're going to go back to the other tab, Control R A. Let's see. Oh. So let's see. Let me get my bearings here. Oh, I gotta hit an escape. So, okay, so, oh, okay. So the very last 0 is the one we want. So generally, even though you haven't done the command, this is Vim is unlike other utilities where if you still haven't done the command, then you can just always up arrow, and then to quote is Control Q and then Control R I, and this will increment it. So let's do that. So that's incrementing. So while that's doing that, let's go ahead and pull another alias. I have one that's fully finished out, and we'll take a look at that. So let's see, S-work. Okay, so after, okay, so this is what we're going to do once it gets done, is we're going to shave it down to 9 places. So we'll take all the zeros, and there have to be one to many, and then we're going to have the last 8 places before the end of the command, the G. So that's what it may just be quicker to. So we're on 80,000. We've got a few to increment here, but that's we'll continue talking about that. So while that's doing that, that's a way we can do that. This is the very end of that, and we're going to show you the finished product on this one. Let's see, that will be the X. And what it's doing is it's taking all the, if we had this out, say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what it's doing is it's taking the 8 that is closest to the last slash of it. So that's this. That is the you have to escape the /. So that would be, if we go and we can see right here, let's see. Okay, 8 is given, that's the length that's given down there. So that's so what that means is that these other zeros are going to be they're going to disappear, and that's going to leave, the plus is considered one of the characters, so it's 8 digits and a plus sign is going to be retained. So and then what's done after that is that we're through with the command itself, which would be right here. We'll go ahead and now this is kind of inefficient because every one of these goes from the current line to the end of the line. But let's take a look at this in miniature. We're gonna examine this. So if we paste this here, this is in sorted order. So let's see. Actually, we got to. Let's take the very first one. So before we use this, this actually adds a line to it, but we're going to and you'll notice this is the last line that got changed, and that's where it leaves the cursor at. So so this is real interesting. So when it says the and I'm going to change the range on this because we noticed here that if we went to the end of the buffer that we would be searching to the end of the buffer when we only needed to search for a few places. As you see here, only 2 lines were affected, and the cursor ended up on the second line. So we're wanting to get it a little bit faster so that we're not here the live long day. So let's see if there's anything else to be done to the file. I think that completes part 1, and then we put the set no undo file on top. If you're doing a million changes, you really want to turn the undo file off. This is destructive changes, you know, and you're gonna go kaboom if you leave that thing in there. So let's see. Now we can run this. Let's go ahead and run this. We're gonna notice an inefficiency right off the bat here. So we're going to take the duplicates we're going to add a line just to we'll do source x.vime. You'll notice how long it has to search through all million lines the first go around, and as you can tell, that's not really very fast at all. So so we're going to kill that. Control C will interrupt a macro. We'll see how this guy is doing over here. This is most of the way through, which is typical. I mean, this is big data, so it will take a while, but it's not really unwieldy or anything. And that brings this up to the next one, which we're going to pick it up from the standpoint that we finished out the X here and we have a no undo file, and we notice the inefficiency here. We're going to save it. Let's give it a name, other.vime. Okay. And so we notice that the X, you know, the first one we created goes through, you know, does a full scan from the current position forward. And the audience gets tired of waiting. There must be a better way. The problem is that replacing the current line all the way down is a waste of time. We only need to go a little bit. We're gonna search 10 lines in front of up to 10 lines ahead of the current line, and that should help speed things up. So let's go ahead and work on this file. I'll paste that. And what this is saying is at every end of line, you're going to do a plus 10 to the G. Let's see. Oh, okay. That was the that wasn't the oh man, I misspoke there. You can do an up arrow to bring that back to previous. This was not a real end of line. That was escape. So that was the $ that was here. And we can hit one undo. Okay, let's do that again. That's a dollar, and we'll do this. Okay, and we'll do a save. And then, so we've already incremented it. So we're going to put a little placeholder, X marks the spot. We're looking for the beginning. We're going to put the double colon, which is always indicates a proper start of a Vim script line. And then we're looking for a actual period, which that's escaped. And then we're going to replace it with this moniker here. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So what this is saying is from this string that we have going forward to 10 past the current string, we're going to look for this line and replace it with that. And if we start up at the top of the line, we should be A-OK. All right. Let's see. And we're going to do another one. This one here. Okay. So what this last command did was it might help if we did a visual on this. Let's see. Let's do a comparison. Okay, this is the, so what this did is it went from this, what it did was it took this string here on a particular line and it placed it here so that we can find the immediate next line. Now the beauty of this is that, as we saw here, let's see that we're looking at the sorted duplicates, is that these two, these two are the same. So once it's changed the second line, the cursor actually remains on this line. So when it searches for this next line, it will readily find it. So that's what we're looking at here. All right. And so we're going to go ahead and pick up here. We'll just take it to the top just for, okay. And so we're going to follow up with we're going to put a normal GG here. We're going to add a line at the top. So watch the birdie. And what this, let's up arrow it. What it did was it added set no undo file. And then for line one, you're gonna at the beginning of the line, you're just gonna put a blank line, and then you're gonna make sure you're at the top of the buffer there. So that's what that did, and we'll go ahead and save it. line, and then this thing is ready to execute. Give it one more. Let's give it a try here. So we're going to get into the duplicates here. And we're going to say source, other. Let's see. And what we end up here is these end up being the finish line. This is the after. Now you'll notice something, and that was just, that was part of our command here. If we go back to the, we said plus 10, and if you count this here, that is 8. I mean, that is 8. So these last few didn't get changed, which that was, that's an easy fix if you're a Vimmer. But I would, as they would say in the military, that's one mill out, gun laid. So we're going to see how this one's proceeded. Okay. And that got us back to, we've already gone over that. So running this here, and we're running this here. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull another alias of the finished product. We'll look at some of these times here. Let's see. We don't want to go nullish yet. This will be the last step. So we're going to pull the finished product down. That's the beauty about aliasing stuff, is you can repeatedly pull it down over and over. So we're gonna look here, is that we're gonna get into here and we're gonna do a comparison. Mark file, MF for mark file, MF for mark file, and then MD for differences. Okay. So these are different here all the way down. And you'll notice that the last few did not get included, but let's look at the timestamp on that. Let's see. So this was at 6:01, and then the script that changed all million lines finished at 6:26. So that's about 25 minutes. That's not bad for a million SSN numbers. Now this, now where this does deviate from the real world is that you would have columns. That would add a little bit of time to it, but it would not be that significant. But anyway, this concludes this example. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, this is Thinking Data. Wishing you happy Vimming. If you have any questions or concern, please comment, and thank you very much.